Hey, what's up guys? So I brought the webcam back out for this one to give you guys a break from all those tired old same gifs I've been using for all my reviews for the past few weeks. But yeah, let's just jump right into the chapter where I actually enjoyed this chapter a lot more than I originally thought I would. Now, if you guys watched my last video, then you guys know that I fell pretty hard for some fake leaks for this week's chapter, which really, those leaks got me so hyped and so excited for the chapter because I thought that we're going to be jumping into a different timeline, and I was excited by the kind of ideas and story development that Hero could actually make from that. But once I found out the leaks were fake, I quickly got my hopes dashed and kind of went into this chapter a little disappointed and feeling like I wasn't really going to enjoy it as much as I built it up in my head. But you know what? Once I got to that double page spread of Shiki using his gravity powers to manipulate all the robots around him so he wouldn't have to hurt them and just let Pino use her EMP on them, that page alone just sold me on the chapter completely. I was automatically right back on board with it, even though my theory was completely off base. I still enjoyed the chapter a lot for what it did. And what it did was basically just kind of showcase, a majority of this chapter basically was just showcasing how much stronger Shiki is now after a post-time skip, and giving us some new designs. Well, not really new designs, only new designs for about 3 characters. So if you read the chapter, you know that the only characters that we actually got to see in this chapter from the Eden Zero crew were Shiki, Rebecca, Wise, Homura, Happy, Pino, and Hermit. Yeah, Hermit was the one we got to see. And the only ones that actually have a similar or different design post-time skip was Shiki, Rebecca a little bit, and Hermit. The rest of them kind of just look exactly the same. Pino looks a little bit more humanish with his new design, but for the most part, she does just still look like Pino. She's just wearing a brand new coat. And real quick, while we're still talking about the whole designs of the characters post time skip, I gotta say, while I did enjoy the new look for Shiki, the more mature looking Shiki that we got in this chapter, I do, right now anyway, still prefer the younger, 15, 16-year-old Shiki that we had up until this chapter. I still prefer that design when it comes to his face. I don't know, there's something about the way that Hero designed this new one. It doesn't feel right to me, at least as of right now. I'm sure that, in the next few chapters, after I see it more, I'm going to become more accustomed to it and I'm actually going to enjoy it a lot more. But as of right now, I'm kind of feeling like I prefer the younger looking Shiki than this more mature looking one. But yeah, besides showing off the new designs for half of the characters, pretty much this entire chapter was just showcasing what the new mission is for the Eden Zero crew and how much more powerful Shiki is after the time skip. So we started the chapter off in the Kaede Cosmos, which by the way, I love the aesthetic for the Kaede Cosmos. It has this kind of checkerboard, kind of like flag looking design. It's not just normal space with, stars and planets. It actually has this weird aesthetic to it, which I really dig. And in this cosmos, we're currently on planet Swedes, where we have Shiki and the gang basically here to kind of stop the same thing that Ziggy did on Faressa, where he kind of just caused a robot uprising, kind of manipulating most of the robots in order to get them to turn against humans and kind of, conquer the world, kind of like his plan to conquer the entire universe with just all bots and get rid of humans and all organic life. And basically they're there to stop the 3 cores that Ziggy set up there, and they split into 3 different teams. We had, I believe Rebecca is by herself. No, Rebecca and Happy are split up to go after 1 core. Homura and Wise are going after 1, and Shiki and Pino are going after the last one. And we spend most of the chapter just following Shiki as he just shows off again how much stronger he has become post the time skip. For example, like I already mentioned, Shiki just basically casually lifts all the robots in the starting area on this planet that he gets to in the air by basically just using his gravity ether gear energy to just shoot them up in the air so he doesn't actually have to physically fight them. And then after that, once they discover where the core is in the current location that him and Pino are at, he just punches a hole into the ground, what I want to say, 300, 600 feet, just casually does that, and then falls down and just comes into an army of skeleton bots that are under Ziggy's control that aren't manipulated by the cores or the program that Ziggy's doing. These are actually robots that just follow Ziggy's orders, so Shiki has no problem fighting them, and he just casually just beats the crap out of every single one of there. And when I say casually, I mean that for the most part, he's not really even using any of his ether gear abilities during the fight. It's only once we get to near the end of the fight in this chapter where he actually uses the ether gear ability to knock out a majority of the robots. But for the most part, he was just casually just knocking them around with simple kicks and punches. So yeah, like I said, going off of this chapter, we can see that Shiki is already vastly stronger than he was pre the time skip, which makes me excited to see what the other characters can do, because we had Jin, who was already on pretty much Shiki's level pre time skip. We have, Homura, who's already a skilled swordsman. I want to see how much stronger she's become post the time skip. All these other characters who were already strong to begin with, I want to see how much they developed. And more than, I want to say more than anyone, I want to see how much stronger Rebecca has become. because she was kind of, the one lagging behind everyone else when it came to abilities and fighting technique. She had her guns, which she was skilled at using those, but for the most part, she was still the weakest member. So yeah, I'm mostly interested in seeing how much she developed post the time skip, and I'm also wondering, did she finally unlock her overdrive? Which, if she did, I'm looking forward to seeing exactly what the design is. I'm guessing that her design is going to have something to do with cats. I mean, her ability is called Cat Leaper, so I'm going to guess that kind of like how Homer's design has like a fox aesthetic to it, she might have a cat aesthetic to hers. But I mean, regardless of what her design is for her overdrive, I'm just excited to see what her overdrive is and what kind of ability she gained from it. And also, while we're on the subject of Rebecca, we end up finding out that in this post 3-year time skip, she has become a very famous beekeeper, which I'm guessing is thanks to all the tips that Couchwell gave her, which was pretty much the only reason why she was part of the crew for the past 2 arcs. Now, I'm kind of hoping that when we actually get to see the inside of the Eden Zero ship and get to meet the rest of the crew again, that Couchwell's not there, because if Rebecca's a beekeeper now, a famous beekeeper now, there's no reason for her to be there. I don't see any point of her being part of the ship, because even in the last arc, Couchwell didn't show to be useful in any way besides talking Shiki out of his funk. Besides that, she didn't have any real need to be there. I mean, yeah, she did kind of heal up Herman and sister, but for the most part, she was just kind of letting her sister's machines do the work. So really, for the most part, Couchwell doesn't need to be there. We can just kind of replace her with literally any other character. I don't hate Couchwell, but I don't see an importance for her being part of the crew, so I prefer her not to be there right now. Also, while we're still on the subject of Rebecca being a famous beekeeper, I'm really looking forward to seeing exactly how Lobelia reacts to the status quo for Rebecca, because the one thing she had over Rebecca this entire time was that she was more famous than her as a beekeeper. Now, we don't know if Rebecca's more famous than Lobelia at this point, but she made fun of Rebecca for having 100 at most subscribers. So now that Rebecca's a lot more famous, she doesn't really have anything to laud over her besides possibly still having a little bit more subscribers than her. But yeah, that's pretty much all that happens with the Eden Zero crew themselves. Like I said, we don't get to see Jin, Klein, Laguna. We don't get to see really anybody besides the main members of the crew and Hermit. But on top of that, we do cut in with Justice and Creed in this chapter. Hey guys, this is me recording post my original recording. So halfway through the video, for some reason, or actually this part of the video, for some reason the camera just kind of froze and stopped working. This actually happened the Tuesday night after the chapter release, so when I was trying to record the original review. And I thought I fixed it on Wednesday, but apparently it's still doing it. So for the rest of this video, it's just going to be me doing audio with some GIFs like I've been usually doing for the reviews. But yeah, sorry about that. Oh, and one more thing, I do realize that during this part of the video, I do keep calling Victory Creed when I'm referring to him. Yeah, I realized that while I was editing the video. It's too late for me to change it, so yeah, I'm pointing out so you guys don't have to point it out in the comment section because I'm already aware of it. And this is when we find out that they were actually on their way to Sweets as well to stop the uprising that Ziggy caused, but got beaten out by the Eden Zero crew. And we also end up finding out that this has actually been happening multiple times for the past 3 years. In fact, I think Creed says that this is the 10th planet that they beat them to before they can actually even have a chance to respond to the distress calls of humans being overrun by the bots. And we see that Creed actually looks at the Eden Zero crew as a bunch of heroes, thinking they're actually doing good work, while Justice is still stuck in his ways and thinking that Shiki and the gang are criminals because of the fact that they are using an unregistered ship, they're tied to Elsie, and he's technically Ziggy's grandson. And he pretty much just thinks that Shiki's doing the exact same thing that Shura did against Poseidon, just kind of rebelling against him by targeting these planets that he goes to in order to liberate the bots. And we end up finding out that the OSI have actually officially decided that Shiki, because of how much of a threat he's become over the past 3 years, has elevated his status to being just a common criminal to being a member of the OSG. So yeah, this is actually a huge development for Shiki, and we actually get to see what his kind of overdrive look, or at least what they're interpreting his overdrive to be post the time skip. And I'm thinking that's not actually going to be Shiki's post time skip overdrive design. I'm thinking that's actually just going to be what they interpreted his design to be, since they all think he's a villain. Anyway, while it is exciting to find out that Shiki has been elevated to the status of an OSG, I kind of feel like he still doesn't deserve that status just yet. It's kind of like how in One Piece, yeah, I'm sorry that I keep comparing the series to One Piece, but it just has so many comparisons to it. But it's kind of like how in One Piece, after Luffy did a certain thing, I'm not going to spoil too much, but after Luffy got to a certain point in the story, they were kind of talking about him in the world of One Piece like he was actually on the same level as a Yonko, when in reality, he's still not there just yet. I mean, he's getting there, but he's still not there just yet. And I kind of feel the same way about Shiki. While Shiki is shown to be a lot more powerful post the time skip, I still don't think he's on a level of like Ziggy or LZ or any of the other OSG members that we've been introduced to in the last chapter. But that's just my personal opinion on the matter. Let me know in the comment section down below what you guys think. Do you think Shiki deserves to have the status of an OSG at this point? Or do you think it's still too soon for him to have the status just yet? Keep in mind that Hero did say that while he wants Eden Zero to be longer than Rave Master, he also said he wants it to be shorter than Fairy Tail. So I'm guessing, from what I'm understanding from most people's calculations, that's about maybe 300 to 400 chapters. So we are possibly either about halfway or a third of the way done the series already. And if we are about halfway done the series, then it does kind of make sense that maybe Shiki should be at the status of an OSG at this point. But like I said, let me know what you guys' thoughts are in the comment section down below. Thanks for watching the video, I really do appreciate it, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out.